you. All right. Hopefully people can now hear me. I hope. Why are you not? Why are you this way? Oh wait, yeah, you're working now. Sweet. So now that I think my mic is finally working for real, uh, welcome to Royale with Cheese, where we get to see me, the Cheese Reaver, watch people beat games that I've never heard of really quickly and just try to impress me while I ask stupid questions. Today we will have Reflex Arena, run by Donald and HT Prankster. I am, of course, a Cheese Reaver, and on comms I am joined by Crazy Al and Donald. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how's it
Hello.
And you might occasionally hear my cat. Uh, we are going to start out today with a world record of an individual level, just to really, blow my socks off to start us off, and then I get to start asking silly questions. So, if you are ready to play, I'm ready to get blown away.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait, that was the whole level?
That was the entire level.
Wow. Okay, I already have questions, so that's great. But if you want to go ahead and get us started, and I can ask my silly questions as you go. So is this? This looks like it's based on at least one of the Quake engines.
That's right.
Yeah,
So Reflex is a spiritual successor to Quake 3. It's an arena FPS, and as a result, the engine, closely mimics that of the ID Tech engines. And I don't know if many people know this, but the ID Tech engines actually are the grandfathers of many modern games, like for example Counter-Strike, Titanfall 2, which run on the Source engine, which itself is based on the Quake engine. So there's a lot of complex movement in here, and I guess I'm ready to take your questions if you have any.
Okay, so you said so it's also an arena FPS. Like you could actually go into like a death match and shoot at people as well.
That's right.
Okay, I know today it's more, I guess, stuff like we just watched in the world record or in that IL where you're kind of just trying to speed through an arena as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but like this game was originally actually supposed to be just an arena FPS, and race was really just an afterthought. But over time, the focus shifted towards this race game mode instead.
Okay, well that's awesome. Yeah, go ahead and get started, and I will ask questions as they come to me, and as my cat knocks stuff off my desk.
All right, all right. So the basic ground movement is, as it says, really basic. You can just walk in each direction, and your maximum speed is supposed to be around 320 UPS. I believe you can see that on the screen.
Okay, so it'll show you your current speed, no matter
That's
what.
right.
That's a nice
And
feature.
there's bunny hopping. I hope that most people are at least somewhat familiar with this mechanic, where you can jump and just keep jumping, and there's no friction in the time that you're on the ground, so you can keep your speed throughout jumping. And as a bonus to that, there's something called strafe jumping, where you can do this movement with both my arrow keys, like my movement keys and the mouse, and a green bar should pop up on the screen. And to put it very simply, I need to stay either to the left or to the right of the bright green portions of that bar and hold the corresponding movement keys. And as a result, I'll gain speed. And this is a really easy way to just gain speed in a straight line. This is what we call strafe movement. Just normal, basic movement like this.
I'm a little familiar with strafe bunny hopping from back in the day in my Counter-Strike days. Back in the alpha versions of Counter-Strike before it went retail. But okay, so the bar is actually showing you the green bar actually shows you how far off center you need to be to continue strafe jumping.
Exactly.
Oh, that's really nice.
It is very helpful. So in addition to being able to just gain speed in a straight line, you may have noticed that I was also able to turn and keep that speed. Now this rate of turning is limited by my speed, so the faster I go, the slower I have to turn before I start losing speed. You can see I have to turn very gradually now that I have 1,000 UPS. And if I go too fast and I try to turn too fast, I'll just start losing speed instead. That's another feature that's hopefully reminiscent of, Quake, Counter-Strike, those kinds of games.
Oh, definitely. Is there a theoretical maximum speed?
No. You can go as fast as you want.
So if you had a long enough corridor, you could theoretically go pretty much forever.
That's right.
I assume at some point the engine probably breaks down.
Or the universe, whichever goes first.
Yeah, one or the other. Okay, cool.
So this is like the basis of strafe movement. Now, there's not just strafe movement in this game, given that it's an FPS, a shooter. There's also weapons. And this, for example, is the rocket launcher. You can shoot rockets with it. That's what it does. And I hope that many people in the chat are familiar, or at least somewhat familiar, with the concept of rocket jumping, where you shoot a rocket at the ground and jump at the same time in order to propel yourself upward. So the knockback off the rocket is used in order to gain momentum in ways that is favorable to completing a level. So for example, instead of going straight up, which is not very helpful in this case because there's a ceiling, I can shoot the wall and use that knockback to give me some speed forward. Well, let's try that again. Like so.
And as long as you keep bunny hopping, you'll keep whatever speed you gain from the rocket jumps.
That's right. That's the rocket. Let's try to explain the grenade. The grenade is just that, an ordinary grenade. It explodes after a certain amount of time, and you can use it in combination with a rocket. Whoops, I hit that ceiling. But you can use it in combination with a rocket to get a large boost of speed in one go. And this is very important in the concept of individual levels where you might have limited geometry, where you can only stay in a small place and you don't have the option of going in an infinite corridor like here.
Okay.
And last but not least, for this explanation, there's the plasma gun, and this might be the hardest to understand. Think of it like a lot of small rockets, whereas one rocket could give me about 500 UPS in one shot, but it has a very slow rate of fire comparatively. The plasma gun gives me less knockback per shot, but it has a very high rate of fire. So for example, I could do this, or I could go and climb a wall with it.
Oh, it'll just send you straight up.
That's right.
That's really cool. I'm used to I'm used to the concept of rocket jumps for vertical movement, but for vertical movement, in my experience, rocket jumps they're limited in that you basically only get to go up once.
That's right.
Okay, that's all right. That's awesome. Yeah, thus far I'm actually remotely familiar with most of the concepts.
All right, so now that I've explained the basic mechanics, I'm going to try to go over to a map that sort of illustrates most of the normal movement, the strafe movement. We'll get to the weapons later because that's a little more complex.
Yeah, in that IL that you showed at the beginning, there was a lot of weapon movement in that one.
That's right. It's more flashy, you know how it is.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, we do it all for swag, that's...
Yeah, of course. If there are any questions in chat, you let me know, right?
Yeah, I will. Thus far, chat's pretty quiet, but it happens.
They're just speechless. That's how it goes.
That opening video will make you speechless.
All right, so this map is called Half Parkour. It's meant to really test like both the basics and the more experienced mechanics, players in the mechanics, all in one map. So the start here is what's known as a double jump. If you jump twice in a very short amount of time, the second jump will be higher than the first. You can see if I step on this platform and try to jump up here, I can't do it. But if I do 2 consecutive jumps, I can. And this will become relevant later. You don't have to jump in this physical configuration where there's a ledge that you jump up to. all you need to do is jump twice in a short period of time, and you will get the same effect. And these are just a couple more scenarios that show double jumps being used in order to complete a little course. To illustrate what I meant, you can also have your head bump into a ceiling and push you straight down to the floor in order to get a double jump. You can see I can't make this jump as is, but if I bump into the ceiling and jump again, I can. It's the same effect.
It was pointed out to me in chat why we may have not been getting questions, because it still said we were on the Dog Pound Classic. That's my bad for forgetting to update the title. It's been updated now.
That's how it goes. It's all right. So in addition to just normal player movement, there are entities throughout the map. One of such an entity is a jump pad that will just give you a boost in a certain direction, like right there. Once you step on it, it might send you forward, it might send you up, like in this case. And those become very important because they're a way to really spice up the movement that a player has to do throughout a level.
Oh, okay, that when you're having to go around walls and stuff, that's... Alright, I see what look to be maybe armor pickups. Are those just... what?
In this game mode, the race game mode, there is actually no armor and health system. So the armor and health pickups are kind of void. Some people put them out just, for aesthetic reasons because they look nice and they give some detail to the geometry, but they're actually not necessary. In other games, though, to be clear, this is part of a family of games, like Quake-like games that have this sort of mode. There are health and armor systems, and there it's actually imperative that the mapper lays out a route that, lets the player have enough health and armor to survive.
Okay, so in this one, even when you rocket jump, you're not taking any damage from it or anything.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
So, once again, I said that if you jump twice in any short period of time, you'll get a double jump. And one way of achieving that is with a teleporter. Because if you exit a teleporter and the target of the teleporter is on the ground, you'll be right on the ground and you'll be able to jump as soon as you get out of the teleporter, no matter the height that you enter the teleporter with. And that's how I can do a double jump through a teleporter.
Oh, that's cool.
So this is a section that just sort of tests that. By itself, can't make this jump, but if I jump once before the teleporter and once right after, I can.
Is it a defined extra amount of height you can get from the double jump, or depending on...
Yes, it's always the same.
Okay.
This is a ramp jump. I hope this is somewhat intuitive. If you jump into a ramp, you'll get very, extra height based on the speed that you enter the ramp with. Think of it like a car flying off a ramp. A really fast one.
Okay, and so it uses your forward momentum and turns it into upward momentum based on your speed.
That's right, and the angle of the ramp.
Okay. Oh, okay, so it's not all like 145-degree angle ramp?
No, the mapper has full control.
Ah, cool.
This is, a thing that we call a circle jump. It's just a really fast way of gaining a little bit of speed in very small, in a very small area. It's a little complicated and probably beyond the scope of this, so I'll just leave it at that. Just a quick little maneuver.
So you're doing just a quick little bunny hop and using
that gives some extra speed.
Ah, okay.
And then that's another ramp jump up here. This is a stair jump. Once again, it's just a double jump, but if you walk up to stairs, they will snap you to the floor every time you hit a stair like this, if it's small enough. So you can jump, be snapped to the floor, and then jump again, and get a double jump that way.
Oh, okay. So they're using one of the properties of stairs.
And the movement engine, which snaps you to the floor, just to try to smooth out movement,
Right. Being told in the chat that everybody hates stairs except for the really good players.
That's right. I hate them, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
This is just the little control section. Excuse me?
Oh, I was going to say, it looks like stairs could probably get pretty dicey, or you could make some pretty trolly stuff out of stairs.
Oh, you can. Absolutely.
Then again, this whole game looks like you could probably make some pretty trolly stuff out of it. And I'm sure that's the premise of like half of the maps.
We'll get to that, yeah. We will.
Good.
This is just another telejump. And then we get to some strafing like this. You just have to go fast.
What was the yellow stuff that was making a weird noise when you bounced
That was
on it?
lava.
Oh.
So that it made sure that you wouldn't go too slow, because if you spent too much time in the lava, you'd die.
Oh, okay. And then you've gone through a lot of teleporters. Is there a way to see where a teleporter is going to bounce out, or you just kind of have to go through it and find out?
No, you just have to go through it and find out.
Okay.
It's all about experience. Whoops. Which I don't have very much of, clearly. This is a little shortcut. You can see that the railing has a diagonal edge.
Right.
And the intended path is to use these orange marked surfaces to do a double jump from that railing, a triple jump here, which I would like to explain. You can stack jumps indefinitely if you have geometry that makes it possible. So instead of just doing a double jump, which would get you up to here,
Mm-hmm.
you can do a triple jump, and that gets you up to here.
Oh wow. All right, and each extra jump adds the same amount of extra height.
It actually it grows with the amount of jumps, so you can go really crazy if you add like 5 jumps in a row.
Oh, okay. But you have to set the geometry up specifically for those heights.
That's right.
Okay.
And then there's just 2 more double jumps here. But keep in mind that little shortcuts like this that exploit the map geometry are very common and are actually the preferred way of mapping and playing in this game mode.
Okay.
This is just another control section. There are little pads that you have to make sure you stay aligned with. And I would like to point out that when I turn with my left and right keys like this, you can see that I actually slowly gain speed.
Mm-hmm.
So the more time I spend jumping across pads, the more speed I gain. And if the pads are intentionally aligned in a way that does not allow for that kind of speed gain, I constantly have to readjust both my momentum and my route in order to not fall off. And that's the premise, that's the challenge of this section.
Ah, okay. What are the blue walls you're going through?
Those are water. They're just meant to stop you from carrying speed from one section to another. It slows you down.
Ah, okay, okay.
Maybe this is reminiscent of B-Hop for some of you.
Yeah, that was very, this is very bunny hoppy.
Doesn't quite work the same way, but I like the resemblance. This is another telejump section, but this time it's a telejump combined with a circle jump. You will see that the telly doesn't actually spit me out facing the right way because I have to go here, but it spits me out facing here. And that perfectly sets me up for a 90-degree circle jump. Like that. I still have to jump early enough that I'm within that double jump window, but I have to make a smooth turn in order to gain the speed that I need from a circle jump.
Let's see, chat saying that they feel like they're taking a physics and geometry class right now. You know what? I'm in the same mode.
Am I going too fast, or?
No. You're good. This is you're being extremely informative, but it's reminding me of of geometry class, but not in a bad way.
It's a lot to take in. Yeah, that's true.
No, that's okay. I promise you, I am not shy about asking questions if I've got them.
Alright, this is just another ramp jump section. It's the same mechanics from now on, basically. Like, I've already explained the majority of them, but they'll be used in more and more elaborate and difficult scenarios.
Okay. And is this like a kind of a tutorial kind of level that you're doing, or?
Yes, that's
Okay.
exactly the purpose.
Okay, because I noticed, basically almost everywhere you're supposed to jump and whatnot has orange all over it and such, so...
Yeah, you don't get that luxury in most maps. You'll have to find your own way. This is just a freestyle section. Just get to the end as fast as you can.
Which is, I guess, that's the premise of the most of the game, right?
Yeah, it just sets you up for that.
Gotcha.
This is just another head bump double jump. You can see I can't make it over this barrier with a normal jump, but with a double jump I can. This is just a circle jump practice session. These distances grow according to the number.
Okay. And that distance is what? How many
Units are
units
between
you are?
this and that
Okay.
platform. This one's quite difficult, so it might take a couple attempts. Oh, there we go. Okay. And this is just a strafe pad section where you're just supposed to go in a straight line, go as fast as you can, so you don't fall behind the spacing of these pads.
And Donald, there's actually an unwritten rule about the last pad section here. This next room you're about to go into. You have to actually do it backwards. You have to do it backwards. Here we go.
It's just
It's easy. It works the same way as when you're going
Oh, I
forward.
went too fast. Oh, damn it.
I guess that's the detriment of going backwards. If you go too fast, you'll just fly right over.
Ah, come on.
I've put him on the spot here. He wasn't prepared for this.
That's okay. That's what the Royale with cheese is all about. Catching people not being prepared. Mostly me, but you know, if we catch other people not prepared, that's good too.
Nice.
There we go. All right.
Ow.
Wow, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. Okay. Are we still supposed to do the fast run on this map, or was that too
yeah,
long?
definitely.
Hey.
All right. So now I'm going to do the same map, just fast.
Okay, cool. So you're using basically the same tech to get through it, but you'll use some shortcuts and then just do it much faster.
That's right.
Let's see, somebody in chat, Fourth Ward Marshall, saying that there's a version of this map that has a really hard section at the end.
Yeah, this is only half of the map because it's only meant to serve as like an explanation for the basics.
Ah, okay.
So this is essentially a race version of a tutorial map. So in the regular version, all these rooms are kind of split up in a different way, but this sort of just streamlines it so every room comes after the last to turn it into a kind of speed run
Gotcha.
as opposed to a tutorial version.
Alright, and I see, I know you know, weapons can give you speed. Does hitting with the wrench give you any speed, or is it
No, that's
right.
just for frustration.
just for the
Yeah.
the satisfying thud?
Exactly.
Yeah, you never know. They could have easily made it where the wrench gives you like, you know, some tiny speck of speed.
I wish they had, because people complain about me hitting the wrench too often, and if I had a good reason for it, I wouldn't have to listen to them.
So, hey, I'm gaining speed from this.
Oh no. Also, to explain the format, individual levels I know in most games refers to, the actual levels that developers put into a game, just split up. But this game, wasn't actually meant to be a race game. So every level, as it would be referred to, is just a community-made map. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, so
There's no-
Reflex comes with a really powerful map editor that lets you makes you really easily make these types of maps. So
Yeah,
as a
it's-
result of that, there are tons of race maps made by the community.
So I'm guessing the leaderboard for this game is massive.
Well, it doesn't have a traditional speedrun.com style leaderboard. It's got an in-game leaderboard, which I can show you. So here's the times for this map.
Oh, okay.
So, oh, hold on. I may have just crashed the game. No, we're good.
Oh no.
So there you go. So this is the leaderboard for this map. So it's individual like that. So you go onto the map, check the leaderboard, and see what kind of time you got. And you can see that I'm actually top 6 here, so I'm pretty good, I guess.
Very impressive.
Nice. Well, I'd say you're gonna solidly beat your 12-minute time the first time through.
I hope so.
So yeah, this is a bit different from what your viewers may be used to. It's not your traditional kind of speedrun game.
Oh, that's okay. We've only had one episode, so we're okay with the non-traditional. No, but no, like there's clearly a lot of thought goes into this map making, and obviously a lot of speed tech goes into running these maps. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And it's it's cool to watch, and I'm guessing. I know somebody said, or you said there's a great map editor with it. I'm guessing most of the maps are a little more colorful, or
Yeah, this one is pretty bare bones.
yeah.
We will be seeing some much nicer looking maps.
All right. I mean that's cool. Just wanted to be sure. I figured as much because I'm pretty sure the video from the beginning was pretty colorful.
Yep. You can do it forwards this time if you want.
Yeah, I
Or
prefer
you
to.
already are.
So is this just basically a longer version of the same room that was before it?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So there we go. 4
Alright,
minutes
that's
and
that.
9. That's pretty decent.
Are we gonna switch to HT now, or?
I think we should get HT in to show us some nice strafe maps. Yeah.
All right, HT is another player, but he's better at this bare bones strafe movement than I am, so he's gonna be the one showing you this.
Can you type to him in chat because for some reason my chat widget isn't coming up.
All right. And so now we're on HT Pranksters.
That's right.
His wrench looks different than yours.
There's customization.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different cosmetics that you can get. And like it works kind of like if you've ever played TF2 where you just get random drops. So you get crates, you don't need keys, you don't need to buy keys to open them. But you get like random crate drops as you play the game and then you open it and you get items and stuff. It's kind of cool.
So you get to play dress up.
Yeah, pretty much. There are some nice cosmetics in the game, I will say.
I mean, I love a good hat from TF2, so, you know.
No doubt.
Calm yourself, Amadeus. I know you can hear the keyboard clicking, but...
Right, so this is HTP, and he's a much better strafe runner than Donald is. Donald's pretty good with the weapons, but HTP is the resident strafer. So he's going to show us how he goes fast on some of these maps. He'll hopefully be showing us some various routes as well, because not all maps are as linear as the one we just saw. Like this one has a lot of different ways that you can go. So it accommodates runners of all skill, basically, that way.
Looks like he's going through an alpine ski town.
Well, actually, yes, exactly. That is exactly the premise.
And I see, is that somebody else? Is he racing somebody at the same time?
Yeah, so
that's Fourth World Marshal, who's been in the chat.
That's exactly him, yeah.
Yeah, so you would, I mean, in its glory day, you would have had servers full of people, you know, playing this, all racing and or fragging, you know, whichever your favorite thing to do was. But it's since gotten a little bit stale. There aren't that many players anymore. The game kind of died a little bit.
That unfortunately will happen from time to time.
Yeah.
But you said this is part of kind of a series of like games based on the Quake engines.
Yeah, so like this is only one of several defrag games, not only based on the Quake engine, but generally games that have a dedicated mode to this sort of individual level gameplay. So it is true that this game has pretty much died. I won't sugarcoat it, but the community has a lot of overlap with different games. And for example, one of those games is based on Quake 3, and that game is quite a bit more popular than this, like in its day-to-day sort of gameplay form.
Mm-hmm.
But when either game holds an event, the players from other games come along and join that game for the time that event is going on. So for example, Reflex has had 2 World Cups so far, and both times a lot of players from other games have come along and just sort of played with everybody else in this game.
Because, I mean, even if they're based on slightly different engines, I assume the movement tech is pretty similar.
Yeah, there's tremendous overlap. So, for example, while this game might have triple jumps, Quake does not, but instead Quake has other movement mechanics that differentiate it from Reflex, and Reflex differentiates itself from Zonotic or Warsaw, and all these different spin-offs or spiritual successors.
Okay, cool. I'm guessing there must be a quick kill yourself button because.
Yes, you'll see that a lot.
Well, yeah, because I'm guessing if you hit a point where you don't have enough momentum to get somewhere, you're kind of boned.
Yeah, it's quite a heavy reset game, but it doesn't have to be. It's as hard as you want it to be, really. You know. Like here, so here we go. He's got it this time. Nice. There we go.
Nice.
That was
Gonna go
awesome.
round again.
Okay, and then I guess when you get into a level, I mean, will you normally know kind of, I guess not the route you're going to have to take, but where you need to go, or is there an amount of exploring that's kind of...
There is a certain amount of exploring, yeah. Especially when you just load up a new map that you've never seen before, obviously. So part of it is you sort of learn to route it yourself, you know?
Right.
Or
Okay.
you just watch someone else and see what they do and then copy them.
Cool. Looks like he's going to
Alright,
be
so we're gonna
swapping
see
to
another map.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Chat. Some mappers are really good at designing tons of different routes into a map, and those are fun to figure out.
Yeah.
So,
And
I
that
think
ties into the Reflex Race World Cup that we were just talking about a minute ago. So part of that is like everyone does their runs offline, and you don't see someone else's run until it's like the deadline. So how those cups work is each week there's a new map, and you spend that entire week running that map to get the best time you can, and then you submit that time, and then at the end of the week we all sit and watch the demos basically to see who is fastest. Like they get ranked, and then we show them.
oh, that's cool.
So you don't get to see what other people are doing, so you have to kind of play it. You have to figure it out on your own. So routing is a really important skill.
Yeah, there's a very creative aspect to like the gameplay. It's not just grinding out the same route as everybody else.
And then I guess when they hold the cup, how do they decide who makes the levels? Is there, because I guess you can't do something like a community vote on them because then people would have seen them before.
Yeah, all the maps are brand new, so they get made in preparation for the cup, and then they get released one map at a time.
Okay.
And then obviously anyone who created those maps or play tested those maps is sort of void because they've seen, like they're not allowed to partake in the tournament because obviously they've seen the map before.
Right. Which makes sense.
You can see that this map has a head bump, double jump, for example, at the start right there.
Right.
So this incorporates more of the technical mechanics that strafe movement has to its name.
Yeah, so there's a couple of different styles of maps, and some are just like a sprint almost, where you just go A to B as fast as you can, and then other maps are way more technical. They have a lot of technical jumps. Some are just about going really fast in a straight line, and some are about tons of different routes, and you got to figure your own way. And then there's ones that are called like climb maps, where you have to do a bunch of technical jumps to sort of ascend through the map.
I can show one right now.
Yeah, let's switch over to a climb map then.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Cool. And then I guess I know you said the other than for tournaments and such, the community is kind of on the deader side. Are certain types of maps really more popular than others, or do you really get a good mix in any given tournament situation?
Well, in tournament you pretty much play what you have to, but like casually, strafe maps are the most popular. Those are just kind of maps where you go from A to B as fast as possible. I mean, that's any map really. What I'm trying to say is where you just gain a load of speed sort of in a straight line almost.
Right.
Whereas this is, as you can see, far more technical style of map where you've got all these precise jumps that you need to make.
But jumps,
These are
turning.
probably these are popular, but maybe not as popular as just regular strafe maps. And then obviously you have weapon maps, and they're probably far less popular than the rest because they're generally because they're harder.
Okay. Because I would think I would just not knowing much about anything, but I would just think people love using weapons. People love to shoot things with rockets, but
Yeah, you would think so, but I prefer the weapon maps. Me and Donald prefer the weapon maps.
right.
To be clear, I mean, weapons also do have a network component, so it's easier
Yeah.
to assemble people and have a party on strafe maps, which is all client-side.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're playing on an online server and you have 80 millisecond ping or whatever, that causes a delay when you shoot and stuff like that. So weapon maps kind of aren't really viable online.
Okay. That makes sense. Whereas a map like this, it doesn't. Your ping's irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense, or that makes sense why they wouldn't be as popular. Because, well, ping has killed many a game.
Yeah.
So this map is less about, gaining speed more and more, and it's rather about using, double jumps, triple jumps to find the fastest way through a terrain that generally has the trend of going up.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's interconnected in a very obvious way, like you can see that's one section, that's another, and this is the third, and then this fourth one goes up there. Because it's interconnected in such an open way, there is tons of potential for skips and shortcuts, and as a result, playing maps like this is a very creative effort, like I already said. There's a lot of route finding involved, there's a lot of testing involved. It's not just going from A to B, as though you had a blindfold on.
Right, and so this is what you would consider a climb map?
Yeah. Try to get one clean run, and then we can move on to the next one.
It's all good. No, but this is, see, like, this is the type of thing I couldn't do any of this. My hands just don't work well enough to. But, it's cool as hell to watch. I'm sorry, cool as heck to watch.
It's a family show.
That's right, it's a family show, everybody. It's only a family show because they make me make it a family show.
Rip.
Getting some of that wrench speed.
More like a frustration vent. Alright, I'll just get to the finish.
Yeah, I know you'll tell on me, WJG. It's fine. I'll take my server back.
Alright, and to be clear, there's a very high level of polish in these short levels. High level of polish scales with the length of whatever run you're competing in, so.
Right. Yeah, I figure. I assume there's a lot more margin for error in much longer levels.
Yeah, like a 4-hour Ocarina of Time run is going to have some mistakes no matter what. But here there's really no justification for that because of how short their levels are.
Right. I guess, is there a maximum size on levels, or?
No, but the file size balloons, because, square cube law.
Gotcha, okay. So theoretically no, but realistically, kinda yeah.
Yeah, basically. Okay, I'll show another climb map, and then after that we can move on to weapons, I think.
Sounds great.
This is by the same author, and it's got the same style. It's interconnected, and the main goal is going up. At the start, this is pretty exotic, so I'd like to just explain this. It's a head bump double jump into a triple jump off this ramp, and that just sort of skips an entire little section of the map. Normally you're supposed to double jump off this crate, double jump off this ledge, and then you're up here.
Right.
But you can do that all in one fell swoop with this triple jump.
And I guess, was that designed in because it has the little area for you to double jump, or to head bonk jump, or?
I'm pretty sure it was designed in, yeah. It's a lot of ingenious map design like that. That gives the maps so much room for finding routes.
Right.
And shortcuts. That gives them a lot of replayability,
Oh, no doubt. And, I mean, obviously a ton of creativity has to go into making maps like this. And I'm guessing a decent bit of math.
Yes. A lot of testing, a lot of math.
So you have to make sure, alright, can someone actually gather up enough speed to make this jump in the area that I've given them to do so?
One of the best things about the the map editor, is that you can just quickly jump in and out of game. It's like a 3D map editor. It's not like any other map editing tools that people may have used for these games, where you have to like bake the map first.
Yeah, like if you go to the start, I can enter the editor right now, and I can just play around.
You in the editor.
You can go free cam. I'm at the start.
I don't know my free cam button. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so Donald is an editor now. You can see. And you can just like create stuff.
Things around.
But then you can, while in the editor, just hop straight into the level and test it immediately?
Yep, exactly.
That's right.
That's nice. Yeah, I'm definitely more used to map editors where you have to, like you said, do something, and then start the map up completely separately, try it out, if it doesn't work, go back in.
Yep.
Which is, you know, nobody
Alright.
wants that.
Should we go to weapons now, or?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Alright. So, you know, that was just an overview of strafe movement, and now we'll get back to the weapons that I alluded to at the start. So this is a very basic rocket map. Like I said, just to recap, you can rocket jump both upwards and off of walls to gain speed like this. And this really is just a quarter of a map. There's nothing, you know, fancy about this. Ramp here and there, but really it's just go straight and go fast.
There's nothing fancy about this, but let me just destroy it real quick. Like, you know what? And maybe the tech isn't as fancy as it looks like, but you know, it looks fairly fancy from someone who has no idea what's going on.
Can you do the rocket sync just to show it off, Donald?
It's just...
Where do I do a rocket sync here?
At the start.
Oh, I can try. That's too early.
So if he shoots a rocket and then sort of waits a bit and then catches up to the rocket as he hits that ramp, it'll give him an extra boost that he wouldn't have had before.
So you're
So
getting
he, like,
two
shoots the rocket
explosions
and
at
then-
once.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of that
crazy.
tech, yeah. Oops.
You'll see that in another map coming up later.
I don't know if I can do it live though. On that map.
Yeah, you can.
We have faith in you.
If you're thinking of Reflex Race 19-1, World Cup 19-1, yeah, you do.
Oh no, that one's okay. That one's not that
That's easy.
complicated.
Yeah, it's just like, and really with rocket jumping and I guess any kind of weapon jumping that you're dealing with, the fact that you're having to do half of the map backwards.
Yeah.
is...
Sometimes they do the full map backwards like this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of showing off involved, you know.
Right. No. Hey, that's what we're here for. To watch you show off. I will be back in just a second.
What's the most important thing to know when you're rocket jumping in this game, Donald?
What to press when you're looking backwards, because as a result of having to shoot the rocket, you're gonna have to look behind yourself. And if you look behind yourself, but you still hold the forward button, you're gonna turn straight back around. You're gonna lose speed, which is obviously not desirable. So you can see me holding left or right, depending on which wall I'm shooting at while I'm turning around, and letting go of forward.
Now help you gain speed faster or stop you from losing speed, yeah.
Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. But I was watching the whole time, just my wife was asking me questions.
No worries. Welcome back.
But, yeah, and I mean, I'm seeing you get up above, 2,000 speed on the reg. I guess I asked earlier if there's kind of a maximum effective speed, and you said no, not really. If the corridor's long enough, you can just keep gaining. I guess within maps, though, is there kind of a maximum practical speed, or really even then you can kind of...
On this, it's definitely limited by the length of the corridor, because there's only a finite number of rockets you can shoot before you hit the end.
Right.
In this map, for example, the maximum speed I've ever gotten was like 3,300 or so. Because
Okay.
the faster I go, of course, the faster I'm going to reach the end.
So you can actually see that on the leaderboard as well. Donald is the world record holder for this map, so his top speed on this map and his PB was 3,116 UPS.
And the difference, you're talking about 0.2 of a second difference between first and second. That's
Exactly.
0.2 of a second is actually a pretty large difference from first and second. Usually you'll see like less than 1/10 of a second difference there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Most levels are that close? Wow.
The level of polish is quite extreme on short maps like this. It's exceedingly rare that you'll find maps that are even comparable to actual IL runs of, like story-driven games or like segmented games.
Mm-hmm.
So most maps will be in the 15-second to like 45-second range. And only exceptions will be like, 4 minutes long, like that map I played at the start.
Right, but that one was designed more as a tutorial, so
Yeah.
that's why it was so long.
But there are maps that are called like torture maps, or I don't know all torture maps, but there are some maps that are it creates like a ridiculous length. Like some of them are really long.
Okay, yeah. Somebody in chat mentioned a torture map.
Yeah.
Yeah, those maps are
Torture
meant.
maps are a little different, but yeah.
Yeah, they're meant as both endurance and control exercises, where you're supposed to keep complete control over your movement over longer periods of time, and like as a result of that, the nature is to be longer than the average map.
Right. Okay, cool.
All right.
What do you got for us
I
next?
think the next thing is going to be a plasma map. It's made by the same author. It's in the same style. So this, set of maps, overgrown plasma, overgrown rocket, is a great way to cut your teeth with weapons. Hope you all remember the plasma gun.
That's right. That was the one that you could truly just climb walls with because it shoots fast enough. Now, I will say, well, the movement tech is, obviously really awesome with the plasma. You don't seem to be getting as much. I mean, I know you're not getting as much speed per shot, but just in general, your speed, you don't seem to be hitting the same speeds as you were in the rocket one. Or is that just nature of the map?
It's definitely the nature of the map. Like, shot per shot, plasma is actually the better one to gain speed with, but this map is a lot more convoluted and doesn't really have any just straightforward areas where you don't have any obstructions.
Gotcha.
You can see, like, I go from chamber to chamber as opposed to just moving along an open corridor.
Okay. But the plasma gun is actually superior for just straight gaining speed in a straight corridor.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
If you played the previous map with a plasma, then it would completely destroy the leaderboard,
Pretty much, yeah.
And then I guess, are there maps where you would get more than one weapon? Because for certain portions of it, you'd want to use plasma versus rockets.
Absolutely. If you recall the run we showed at the start, we're going to get to that in just a moment. I had all 3 weapons. Oops.
And then even in the tutorial, you did a combo grenade rocket jump. So I guess that answers. And I sort of recall the run at the beginning, but having had no idea what was going on, I was mostly staring at the pretty colors that flew by at ridiculous speeds.
That's
Yeah,
fair enough.
We'll show it again in a minute.
Okay, yeah. Now that I have a vague idea of what's going on.
Is there any other map between this and that map from the beginning, or do you know, Al?
I mean, you can check the list. I can't really alt-tab out.
Right. I guess. I don't know. How much time is left?
About 15 minutes.
I think you should do Reflex Race World Cup 19-1. I
Alright.
think that's a really good map.
And if we go a little over, there's not anything on directly after this, so there's nobody to yell at me.
Alright, that's fair enough.
And I'm a mod, so there's not really anybody to yell at me anyway. Jay's having lunch.
So this is one of the maps that was used in the Reflex Race World Cup for 2019. It was the first map of the series.
Do they do just one cup a year, or?
So far, yeah. Since 2018, there hasn't been one for 2020 yet. I don't know if there will be.
It's always a difficult process of finding good enough maps,
Yeah.
Good enough maps that nobody's seen before.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I mean, we have a pretty extensive backlog, but getting exclusive maps made just for the tournament is always a stretch because it takes up a lot of time in, in sort of a crunch period. You can't just have mappers mapping away
Right.
years on end.
Okay, so this one you had started off with a grenade jump, and now it's all plasma E. Looks like the grenade jump, the hardest part is probably the timing.
Yeah, you have to time it such that not only do you jump at the correct time, at the correct time, but you also start gaining momentum right before you jump. Because it does you no good in that first section to just go straight up when you have to cross a gap that, lies in front of you.
So basically, you have to lay the grenade and then take a run at it, and then jump. Like take a run. Imagine taking a running jump at something. That's the kind of idea.
Take a running jump at a grenade, hoping it explodes at the right moment.
And here's another rocket sink. You see, he shot that rocket down.
That was cool.
You see it again. You shoot the rocket down first, catch up with it, and then get a double rocket jump at the bottom. And you can do that you can do like double, triple rocket synchronizations or rocket syncs or 2 times or 3 times or however you want to call it.
Yeah,
Really?
the first
So-
World Cup had a map where one of the best strategies was a quadruple synchronized rocket.
So it's just firing a rocket, gaining some speed, firing another one, and then just having all 4 of them hit at the same time.
Exactly.
Or if you're falling, you fall faster than a rocket flies. So if you shoot a rocket as soon as you start falling, and then you catch up with it, and then you shoot another one as you pass it, that turns a 2 times into a 3 times, for example.
Ah, okay. So wait, you fall faster than rockets go.
Yeah, so you keep gaining speed as you fall, whereas the rockets fly at a constant speed of 1,000.
I
So
don't want to
1,000
give too many parallels to a physics class, but gravity accelerates constantly, so
That's true.
eventually you will go faster than a rocket.
As long as your terminal velocity is longer than the rockets. Or
Yeah,
not
I'm not sure
longer,
whether that's physically accurate.
Just saying, terminal velocity.
Yeah, fair
And
enough.
I'm sure in this, terminal velocity is probably not a thing, but well, obviously it's not if you don't have if there's not a theoretical maximum speed. But
Yeah, I mean, robots are pretty heavy. They'd have a pretty high terminal velocity.
it's true. Yeah, Crazy Al, when he submitted this, we talked a little bit about it before, and he sent me a couple of videos of the Reflex Cup, and I only half watched one of them just to make sure that I thought the game would work in the format, but I didn't want to gain too much knowledge, so I'm definitely gonna have to go back and watch those videos because this is really cool. And
Yeah, and if there's anyone in the chat, anyone watching that's interested in playing these games, I think one of our community members could probably post a link to our Discord.
yeah,
There'll
absolutely.
be people there who are more than willing to help any new players get into the game.
Yeah, if somebody wants to post a link to the Discord, I will make sure it gets allowed through. There we
And
go.
then
Prankster
on there
just
you
dropped
can see
one.
other... Sorry, go on.
It's just Prankster just dropped a link, thank you.
Nice one, thank you. So this game is on Steam. It's like what, $6 or $7 or something like that, maybe $10 actually. And yeah, if you want to join us on the Discord, feel free. We will be more than willing to help you out.
That's good. It's good when communities are willing to help people. Though I will say, in my experience with speedrunning communities, I've lucked out and I've never really had one of those super toxic, nobody wants to help anybody ones. But that may just be the community.
Speedrunning is quite good that way, I think.
I'm told they exist. I just haven't run into one personally yet.
Nice, sub 50.
All right.
Want to do round 2 as well, or just precision?
Whichever you want to do. We've got time for both.
I may have mapped round 2, but I'm not a big fan of it. So I'll just go
Fair enough.
precision.
So this is the map that we saw in the beginning.
Okay.
So do you want to show the video again before or after? I don't remember.
We'll do it after.
Yeah.
All right. There's no cool music to accompany me this time, unfortunately.
So this is an interesting map at this point because it basically lets you choose between rockets and plasma for that previous section. This section is
Here,
different.
for example, here you have the opportunity to shoot a grenade. You see the screen strip that gives you a grenade. Within your volume between this strip and this strip, you can shoot the grenade and hit one of these targets, and that would give you an additional boost. But here you switch to plasma, and I prefer just plasmaing my way up straight up.
Oh, okay. So the strips are what changes your weapon.
Yeah, he's not changing on his own. It's whenever he passes through like a gate, it switches the weapon for him. Basically, it tells him what weapon he needs to use. But there's a section at the beginning where you can choose to use either, rocket or plasma.
Looks like stream died.
Oh shit!
Rip.
Really? Sorry. Your stream
Wait,
or
your
my
stream or Al's stream?
The stream on SRA is still going. The Discord stream that I'm watching.
Okay, all right.
Shame
on you, Al.
Restart it. I don't know what I did.
Sorry about that, everybody. Yeah, okay. So they can still hear audio, so that's not a problem. You guys get to see the nuts and bolts of how we're doing this in the background. Yeah, we're just doing this through a Discord stream because that was the easiest way to pull it off.
All right, are we back?
Yes, we're back. And that grenade launcher has a pink camo pattern on it.
Donald, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I think Cheese's internet maybe is.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, your mic was a bit screwed up.
Okay, am I
It's
good
fine
now?
now.
Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you now. So is the stream back or?
Yeah, stream's back. We're watching, looks like 4th Ward Marshall. We're on
There
his.
you go.
There we go. Now we're back on Donald. Okay, so the strip is changing his weapon. Is that the same on all? Like, is that just that's the way they do it on the maps, or?
No, that's like an artistic choice. The actual volume that is changing my weapon is invisible, and it's up to the mapper to use their own style to communicate that to the player.
Okay,
So like, there's a lot of visual flexibility there.
gotcha. Now, so you would never have more than one weapon on you at a time that you can switch between? Like, you're only given...
No, I can. It's just like, once again, the mapper has control over that. So in this
Gotcha.
section, I can have both plasma and rockets, but that would require me taking a detour, and it doesn't really benefit me, so I just go the straight way.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if, you normally had all the weapons and you were just switching between them, or... Do most mappers do it, not necessarily with the visual cues like this, but they just kind of control what... You generally only have one weapon at a time, or...
I think it's all about equal. I mean, it's obviously appealing to make a specialized map that just focuses on one weapon, like the previous maps that we showed.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, similar appeal in making a complex, multifaceted map, like where you have the player choose what would be best, and you create some variability between players and between individual runs.
And then I think you may have described it, but it may have been right before we started having issues. With the grenade launcher, when you're shooting the green targets, are they exploding immediately instead of...
Yes.
Okay. Right,
So as
but
opposed to exploding with a delay, here they explode immediately.
okay, and that's just the nature of the whatever texture the green targets is made out of.
Yeah.
Again, these targets were never meant to be used in this way. They were basically for like a shooting range. They put like a shooting range in the game, and they added these shootable targets, and like different colored targets mean you have to be shot with different weapons. So green obviously means grenade launcher because the grenade launcher is green.
Right.
So it was a guy who made this map was a Shark. You and Shark, wasn't it?
Shark and Maker.
Right. Okay. So those guys obviously figured out that if you place like 50 targets in one spot, then you can just use that as like a shootable wall with the grenade launcher.
Mm-hmm.
Where the grenades would explode instantly, as opposed to waiting for the delay. So like every one of these targets you see is actually like 50 targets placed on top of each other, so that they stay there. Because usually when you shoot a target, it explodes, it disappears.
Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not losing your surface.
Yeah, so it's kind of hacked together. But it's just an interesting way of using things in a way that they were never intended for.
Well, no, but I mean that's where you get some of the greatest creativity is when you start hacking together things in ways they were not meant to be used at all.
I mean,
Fun
the
fact.
entire premise of the mode is that,
That's true.
Exactly. Strafe jumping was unintentional, and Carmack actually wanted to kill it, but he was convinced to let it stay
Yeah.
in the original Quake days.
It was John Romero who convinced him to keep it, I believe.
Wouldn't shock me. Those two were both, heavily involved in Doom and early Quake and all that. So I know it was originally designed as more of a standard deathmatch type game. Are there more weapons in the game, or is it just rockets, grenades, and plasma?
There
are
are
more
more weapons. Sorry, go on. I'll let you do it.
There is a map that we theoretically have in store to show some of those.
Oh, okay.
Do you still want to do that, Al, or?
I mean, we can. I don't know how enjoyable it is going to be for the stream. So basically, there's a map that we can play co-op. So we help each other get through the map together. And obviously, you're only going to be able to see one point of view at a time. So it may be kind of difficult to understand for the viewers. But I mean, yeah, we can show it off.
Yeah, I'm down to watch a show off. Okay, I guess the reason so these three weapons are the only ones that really have real movement tech with them.
There is another weapon that has movement tech.
Okay.
Called the stake gun. It shoots a stake. Like have you ever played Painkiller, which is an old arena FPS? That has a stake gun. So basically, it shoots like a piece of wood. Imagine
Right.
and it sticks in the wall, and then you can jump on that. That has like collision. So you can use those to climb or do double jumps or triple jumps or whatever. You'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, just stick a 2x4 on the wall and
Yep.
we'll figure it out.
I actually own Painkiller. That was a fun game. So I only ever played the single player campaign for it.
Alright, that run was relatively clean. I think we're
Yeah.
done on this map.
26 is very nice.
All right.
So you want to show
Top
the
one
vid
here.
and then...
Yeah. Let's show the vid of. Is this the world record run? The vid is.
Yeah, that's my personal best and it's the world record.
All right. Let's see that one. Now that I understand a little better about really what's going on.
Let me just pull it up here.
You know, I'm not actually sure when Romero left. Was that after Quake 1 or Quake 2 that Romero left? I don't remember.
Alright, can you see the video okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Just how well you have to know a level to do it this quickly.
That was 24.5 seconds.
It's
It's a very
insane.
flashy 24 seconds, but it's the top of like a 10-hour iceberg.
Oh, yeah, I have no doubt a ton of level grind went into that. That's great, though. All right, so you guys got any others you want to show off?
Yes, the co-op map.
Yeah, we can do the team race.
All right, and we'll probably wrap it up with that because
Yeah,
we're
then
running
do
up on 3 o'clock now. But like I said, there's nothing going on right after this, so we're not on a time crunch or anything.
Alright, go.
Yep.
So this gun right here is the 2x4 gun that Crazy Owl was alluding to, which shoots a portable stick of wood
can
that
you
can be
give me another
used as a platform.
Ah,
And that's, a way for one player to help the other remotely.
oh, you have limited ammo on that plasma gun.
Yep. So health and armor and ammo is a factor on this map. And you'll see that as we continue.
So in this case, he has to push me up with his plasma gun.
Oh, so it works both ways. Pushes you back.
Yeah,
and
you
pushes
not
them away.
only pushes you, but it also pushes enemies.
Oh, okay.
In this case, of course, we're teammates, but mechanically we're enemies. This is the same concept, except I have much worse aim.
So this is a lightning gun. You haven't seen that previously, but it's because you can't really get knockback from for yourself with that.
It's only
But he
useful in
can
a
shoot
co-op
me.
situation.
Yeah, he can shoot me and it'll knock me back. And then I just slap him with my axe.
So there is axe speed tech.
Yes. A long
There, I
last.
just clear the way for him. I destroy a target. Which, by the way, that's the same target that we saw on the other map.
Yeah.
The grenade launcher target.
This is probably the hardest jump here.
It's pretty
I have to-
creative.
he has to get a bunch of health and armor items, and I have to jump up here and get the quad damage, which, you'll be familiar with the quad damage if you've played Quake before.
Yeah.
But that
And then he
usually,
shoots me point blank with a quad shotgun and shoots me across the map. And then from across the map, I have to clear the way for him with a railgun shot.
and then there's a lightning gun turret there, which lifts me up like an elevator. And he has to shoot the way here to clear the way from these shots.
This is crazy and amazing. Cramazing.
And here we have to synchronize a rocket and a grenade.
2 grenades and a rocket.
Oh wow.
Right. Once he's up, he can help me remotely, but the first thing has to be done in synchronization. And that's the end of this map.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Like,
There's a few maps like this. There's not many, and
but that's just
Yeah, they're
that's
a lot of
super
fun.
neat. Using having to use weird tech to help each other get through it.
If you want, there is a video of another one that we can show as like a goodbye of the stream.
Okay, we can definitely do that.
Let's see if we
Alright,
can
we'll
get a better run here.
Yeah.
Because we missed out on doing a really cool jump at the end. So if you're really fast, the quad damage will last long enough so that you can use it on the very last jump, and it makes it very easy.
That's the combined grenade rocket jump.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Obviously, with more damage comes more knockback, so quad damage would give us quad knockback. And that gives us a way easier and cooler jump at the end.
Wait. Okay, try again.
On team run maps like this, there's a lot of thinking involved by both parties, because if you really want to push the map to its limits, you have to not only consider what you're doing, but also what you can do to affect the other player.
Right.
It's not just one route that you have to think about in Theory Craft.
Wait a sec. You were off center.
Yeah, that was my
Okay,
bad.
so this costs a lot of time screwing up that shot, but it's okay.
Luckily, you've got multiple quad damages available.
Yeah, we got 3 chances at this. So yeah, it's a really precise one.
You're trying to hold on to that quad damage for long enough.
Empty jump. There we go.
Easy.
Oh wow. Okay.
So that ran out just in time.
That
Or we got it just in time even.
that was cool. But yeah, if you had a video you wanted to show as that,
Yes,
and then we can sign off. And
This is another team run map that was designed by Sharkosity and myself, and it features me and another player, Woody.
Right, here we go.
a little longer than the last map, or the last one we showed on this.
I just get good quality. Sorry, it looked kind of trash.
It's alright.
So now we see the other player's perspective.
Oh, cool, cool.
And they do a bunch of skips on this map, which basically means that this run is so optimized that they barely even have to help each other.
Yeah, other than a couple of stake throwers that...
If you play it like vanilla, there's far more helping each other. It's just that these guys are so good that they managed to break them up a little.
Right.
But still very impressive, by the way.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Wow. All right. Well, thank you both for being here. That was great. Thank you, Prankster.
Thank you for having us.
For doing some runs.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I learned a lot. I think we all got to watch some really cool tech. Yeah, feel free to drop the. Well, I'll relink the Discord from before, just in case anybody's joined us since the last time it was linked. But there is the Discord if you are interested in Reflex Arena. I'm told that the community is very welcoming of newcomers, so that's good. But yeah, that has been this week's or this. Oh yeah, with this week's we do them every other week, but whatever you want to call it. This week's Royale with Cheese. I'm once again the Cheese Reaver. I've been joined by Crazy Al, Donald, and then HT Prankster did some running for us as well. Yeah, if you guys got anything you want to add before we
I want to
burn?
thank everybody for watching and showing up.
Oh,
Yeah, pretty much that's the same for me. And again, just to say, if anyone wants to join us, just follow the link to the Discord. We're more than happy to help any new players because we are desperate for them in this little community of ours.
all right. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining you. Thank you everybody for watching. This has been Royale with Cheese. It's what they call a quarter pounder in Paris.